What's going on, guys? Alright, so it has been a little while since I posted a video. Just been busy with work and family life, you know, all that good old stuff. So I haven't really done a whole lot to the car. I haven't really videoed a lot of my work. I apologize, guys. Hopefully from now out we'll get some videos of everything done to the car. Like I said, I've just been very busy with family, work and all, and hopefully I get some more videos pumped out. So this is kind of an update video of everything that's going on. And another thing, got LMR event next month, so I want to get this car done. Got to tweak the tune and everything on it with the new setup, and guess I'll kind of show you around what I got done to the car. Alright, so not exactly sure where I left off in the last video of everything I've done, but I can show you what I got done today, well, the last couple weeks. So let's start off with the fuel system. Got the fuel pressure regulator moved over here. It was on the back side there on the firewall. I moved it here on the passenger side strut tower. Got new lines ran. So on the line here, this is a 10 amp line. I used the Y that came with the fuel setup, and I put a reducer on it. Since these are 6 amp lines, I couldn't really find a 10 to a 6 unless I waited 3 or 4 weeks for it. But what I went and did is I just put a reducer on the ends. So these are 8 ends out, and I put a reducer to a 6. So got 2 6s going out, coming out here. And so each fuel rail has a dedicated 6 amp line going to it. So should minimize every bit of fuel restrictions to each rail. Each rail has their own dedicated line. And coming out of each rail, 2 6 ends to a Y here, to a single, and going straight to a fuel pressure regulator. Got some heat tube on it, just as close to this header here, and got the other side of the regulator capped off, and got the line going in, going behind the fender here, inside the fender, and going to the return back to the tank. Another thing I did, so I spent a lot of time on this for the drain. My original drain was here on the passenger side, because I had the all-on-3 kit right here. So the drain was on the passenger side. So with the turbo here mounted on the driver's side, I had to move the drain, because there wasn't no good possible way to run the line all the way across. Because they got try and go over up under the water pump here and everything. There wasn't any downgrade to it. So that wasn't going to work. Then I tried punching here on the driver's side. I did it and I wasn't satisfied with it. So what I had to do is I decided to just go ahead and drop the K-member. I had to pretty much tear apart the suspension. It pretty much was almost a whole day. It wasn't really a whole day. It took a whole evening worth of work, having to drop the K-member and all, to drop the oil pan. So here's the old oil pan. You can see here, that's where I had the old fitting, and that's where I put the new one at for the passenger side. And I wasn't 100% satisfied with it. This is as far as I can go in with it, because the oil pumper is right here. It was hitting against it. I did drop this pan to punch the hole. Actually, I drilled the hole because I didn't have a punch big enough for the fitting, because it's a 12N fitting. And I'm kind of glad I did drop this oil pan and I put a new oil pan in, because once I pull this one out, this has been here for about 2 weeks now, so there's going to be some junk in it now. But I had some metal shavings in it. I tried to get out best I could. I put grease on the drill bit, I put grease on the tap, still got shavings in the pan. And I'm kind of glad I dropped it anyway, because there was shavings all up in here. It wasn't little pieces, this was some big chunks. So it's a good thing I dropped it. And I put a new oil pan in it. I went ahead and just put a standard 5-quart oil pan in it. It's a stock style pan. It's a Ford Racing, a Ford Performance pan. It came with the dipstick, pickup tube, pretty much everything to bolt it up. It was with the studs, it's kind of pain to get it out, but with this new pan, it lined up a lot better than my cheap one, my eBay special. Hopefully it's sealed up good. Put a new gasket on it, put some silicone on the corners there, and torqued it down. Got all that done. Got a new fitting. I actually got the fitting welded on by Jay, so don't have to worry about any leak in there. And I ran a 12N line up to the turbo, so it should be plenty of line there. It's actually kind of overkill. They suggested on 3, recommended a 10N, but I got a 12N on it, so it's plenty of line there. Made my own feed line here. It's a 4N line. Got all the vacuum lines ran. I got rid of the stock controller I had on the car. One of the Turbo Smart Boost controller. It's a lot more better than what I had on it. So I should be able to dial in the boost a lot better. So the last thing I did was last night was ran the lines from the radiator to the engine. Thought about this a little bit, but I decided to use some 16N lines to run it. It's not perfect, but what I eventually want to do is, I won't do it unless I buy it, so I have it here, I having to take all this apart, is weld on 16N fittings to the radiator, top and bottom, and do the same thing for the thermostat housing and the water pump. But that'll probably be something I'll do down the road, but for right now, this is what I came up with. About $100 worth of materials. Has some summit points, so didn't really spend a whole lot for this setup. But you can see here I had to use some hose. I use a barb top fitting into a 16N. So all the fittings I use for the hoses is 1.5 on everything. If it nice and tight, you just use some hose clamps, just tighten them down. I already got antifreeze in it, so everything's good. There's no leaks. But like I said, eventually what I want to do is I'll get like a new thermostat housing. Pretty much have everything ready, so I can just swap it over without having to have the car down, take everything off the motor, and have everything welded up. But well, like I said, I'll probably eventually do is I'll get like a new rad. Have the fittings welded on, and put it in and pretty much just bolt it up. Should be enough line here. And put some heat tube Some heat shield tube right there. This isn't so close to the exhaust. But that's pretty much everything I got done in the car last couple weeks. I'm sorry guys, I didn't post any videos with how-tos and anything, but like I said, I'm just trying to get the car done, and I'll start going over some other things like some tuning, some tweak of the tune, and pretty much the finish of the video on how to stick this front cover back on, because it's not going to be bolted on and be done. Since we moved the rad up under the support here, we will have to modify the front cover and headlights to make it work. Alright guys, so next I'm going to work on is putting the plug wires in. I got rid of the live wires. The reason why I got rid of them because they weren't exactly the right length for this motor. I think they're more suited for a 302, and it just never fit. 1 or 2 cylinders. I think the very back one, number 8, was too short, so I had to kind of move around to make it work. Had the wires going over the valve covers. Just wasn't that great. I mean, they're a great wire, but the size I got wasn't correct, and I never returned them. I just kind of went with it. But got a new set of wires. Went with some Accel Extreme 9000 ceramic. It's a really nice plug. Don't have to worry about these burning up. They're good for like 2,000 degrees, and they're already pre-made. I thought I was going to have to make them because the instructions on the box says instructions to how to make them, but it's probably just a generic box they use for, or they make for, unless they make a kit in the same box here. You have to make. So, but anyways, these are already made. I know another guy, Tom. If you watched the last couple of videos, we did a video on his car, and he's running the same exact plug wires on his 351. So I really liked how they looked on the car and the quality of them, and I decided to go ahead and get them for myself. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these in. My good old friend Google here, pull up the firing order for 302 high output motors and 351s. They share the same firing order. This is a 302 non-HO. They have a different firing order. So keep in mind, if you have a 302 high output, you'll use this firing order. Go down here a little bit on the bottom. Guide distributor, and it tells you what plug wires go where. I should know this by now, but I always like to use a reference like this to want to put plug wires in. So I was putting the plug wires on. The passenger side fit really good and all, so I got that pretty much done. But I started working here on the driver's side, and the wires were becoming short. I mean, number 5's good, number 7's good. I mean, it's okay, but we're talking about number 6 here. I hadn't even put on 8 because 8 requires me to underneath the car and do it. But number 6 here, I mean, it's just really tight. Talked to Doug. He said, well, I looked at a picture of Tom's car, and the wires have plenty of room. Passenger side seems good. Like I said, just the driver's side here is the biggest issue. But I really think he might have used, Tom might have used the 460 plug wires. Because like I said, these wires are for 302. That's what I pulled up on the part number he gave me, but I think he might actually give me the wrong part number. But it's cool and all. But what I do is I may just go ahead and order the 460 plug wires. I'm pretty sure that's what he's running on his car, is the 460 version. And we'll just go ahead and pull these off. Debate if I want to just sell them locally or just return back to Summit, because I plan on just ordering the new plug wires online, just have them delivered, since they're over $100. It's free shipping. So Save me the time having to drive there, and it'll take a day to get here. So anyways, alright guys, pull these off. So got a new box of plug wires. Hopefully these will work. They should be longer since they're for a 7.5, which is a 460. Bigger motor. Hopefully they'll be long enough to do what you can do. Pretty much the same exact plug wires. Hopefully they're just longer. So we'll get these unraveled and sorted out, and we'll see if they fit. Alright, just like the other box of wires, got your little organizing wire separator, what do you want to call those. Got some instructions here. You really don't need them because these wires are already pre-made, but this gives you an idea how to make them, you know. So yeah, comes with a little thing of grease. It's kind of cute because it's not enough. So plan on buying a tube of silicone grease, because I used the other one in the other box. It literally only lasted maybe 4 wires. That's all it's good for. I like to stick it in a little thick, and there's not a whole lot in there. So I got my plug wires here, kind of separated, see what's longer and whatnot. Obviously your first 4 cylinders up front is going to be shorter than your back. And what I like about the air kit as well, it comes with 2 different wires for your coil, or for your coil. So it comes with a shorter one and it got a longer one. So I really like that option. It came with this kit. And like I said, these are ceramic. These are supposed to withstand 2,000 degrees. So we're not going to worry about burning up any boots. Alright, so got the plug wires in on both sides, and these fit a hell of a lot better. It's got some slack in them. The air wires, literally, you couldn't have, it wasn't like this at all. It was like literally over the valve cover, and it was still tight. So these fit a lot better. So if you're doing a 351, 460, use these wires. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with the air wires. They're just for a 302. So that was just my bad there. I just picked up the wrong wires. So now, I'm also using the shorter wire on the kit. It also comes with a longer one. So I'm using the shorter wire. There should be enough slack in it. I haven't really pressed it down yet. I don't have any silicone grease in it. And also want to really just put it all in place, just make sure everything comes out right. So, and it does. Now I'm going to clean it up, make everything look nice with these guys here. And we'll be done with that, and we are just about ready to fire this car. I have the tank is dropped. I know I said that you can use the gas or the grommet from the little white guy right there, but you can't, doesn't fit. So I got a new one coming for that guy right there. So that should be here tomorrow. I may try to put it in tomorrow if I got time. If not, probably Thursday. And we'll get the tank put back up, and we should be ready to fire this car. So got the correct grommet or seal, you want to call it, for the tank. This is for 2000 through 2004, and I already kind of test fitted on the new valve here. Fits a lot better. Didn't have to really force it on too hard, unlike the other seal. So I'll go ahead and get back up underneath here and get this guy back in. We'll get this guy in. Alright, so it is in. Went in a lot easier than the old one with the old garment. So If you have a on 3 tank, cover style tank, you'll need that little garment if you want to use the 2000 to 2004 roller valve. So got it on, got the hose on, got it clamped. So now just ready to put this tank back in. Fun.